Blessed assurance.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to day 19 of our Bible reading session. So, yesterday we have read chapter 38. Today we will read chapter 39. We will be reading about Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Every day I've always forgotten to say the name of the channel, so today I'm going to say it. I will make sure that I say the name of the channel. So welcome to my channel, Spend Time with God. So let's spend time with God by reading His Word, right? So before we start with the Bible reading, we will first read the verse of the day by YouVersion. Today's verse of the day is 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Right, so like yesterday I have mentioned, a few days ago I have mentioned about my pastor who got a stroke, right, who was affected by stroke last December. Even though he said, right, his testimony was that even though he's very ill, you can visibly see that, even there's the left side of his mouth where it's a bit crooked now, and even when he talks it's not very clear like how it used to be. But even though in very severe illness too, right, he is at peace because he knows he is free. Because why? His faith in God is really strong, right? So where the Spirit is, there is freedom, right? So I think we can all relate. I think when we turn to God, we give ourselves to God, right, we really do find freedom. All right, so that is the verse of the day. So we will continue with the Bible reading. Genesis chapter 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. So Joseph is also really blessed by God. He really has favor in God's eyes as well. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owed. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So he left in Joseph's care everything he had. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Even Potiphar really trusted Joseph because of he's seen how God really blessed his household because of Joseph's presence, right? So now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, come to bed with me. But he refused. With me in charge, he told her, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted in my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. How faithful of Joseph, right? I think that's very known to all of us Christians that immorality is, I think, the easiest way for, for the devil to get through to us, right? It's one thing that really is tempting, and and it's easy to fall prey to immorality, right? Sexual immorality. So, but it's really admirable of to see Joseph being very strong in his faith, and really being so strong in in willpower, and his love for God is so strong that he's not fallen for this temptation. So one day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. See how evil it is of her, right? I mean, I think it would have been funny to watch as well. I mean, for somebody to observe, like, the guy is really not interested in her, but she's like really trying to push herself, trying to get the attention of Joseph, but he's like fleeing away from her, like, she's the worst of all, right? So when she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "this Hebrew had been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." How sneaky of her, so evil. I think even in our generation, or even our, from just around us as well, right? We do have people who do tend to make up stories about others, right? So it's really evil of her. She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him the story. "That Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport of me. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burned with anger. I think, obviously, who wouldn't be so angry? Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. Here, even in prison too, right? God really showed, favor to Joseph. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. So we can see that Joseph was meant to be a leader, right from the time he had the dreams. It really did show that God was going to make him a leader, right? So we will continue with chapter 40 tomorrow, and we will further read as well as in how he will become a leader, and how the the people of Israel are going to expand, are going to eventually have the 12 tribes, and 13 tribes. We will get to know more about all these the leadership of Joseph and how the tribes will come to be, right? So we will continue tomorrow with chapter 40. Please like, please share, please comment, so that it will help me with the feedback, and also please subscribe to my channel. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you all have a good night, and we will meet again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. He's been my fourth man in the fight, time after time.